Hey there, this is Michael with the general reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus for the month of March 2022. I do hope that this video finds you well and in good spirits. Before we dive into your reading, I do have a really quick announcement. I am now on Patreon. For those of you who aren't familiar, Patreon is a membership platform where, in addition to the free content I've been putting out on YouTube, I'm also offering additional perks and benefits to people who are able to donate or continue to support this content that I've been putting out for 3 years now. Thank you for all of you who have always supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes, especially those of you who have been with me since the very beginning. It really has been such a gift, and I'm just so grateful for all of you. This Patreon is just for people who want to go out of their way to provide additional support. I do also have my astrology notes that are going to be posted on Patreon, as well as a few monthly live streams. So a lot of really interesting and fun perks. I also will be posting some energy updates on a weekly basis there on Patreon too, so it's a great way to follow the astrology and just get kind of an intuitive update with what is going on each week. That is linked down below if you're interested in learning more about that and supporting this channel. And of course, all of my links are still in the description box if you're looking for a reading or Reiki session with me as well. Anyways, Gemini, I have all of your cards here on the table, and the first one that I actually had for you was the Star. This is actually kind of interesting because the Star is Aquarian energy, and as some of you may know, we have been in Aquarius season in the month of February, so this is interesting that this is coming up in the past. I feel like this is referencing a time where you felt very spiritually aligned, or referencing feeling more spiritually connected or integrated. And I think there has been a lot of focus on like getting back to what was lost or reclaiming something spiritually that you might feel disconnected from again. Some of you have had amazing spiritual journeys or progress over the course of your life, but everything that has gone on in the past couple of years may have been very challenging for you, and it's really been kind of hard for you to continue to follow your spiritual guidance or your intuition, or to feel trust or faith in something, because very often the Star just represents a sense of hope or faith or renewal. And you do have the Nine of Cups here as well. I feel like some of you know what it is that makes you happy. There's a lot this month that is about you remembering things. What I'm getting with the cards anyways, it feels like there's a lot with you kind of recommitting to your life purpose or recommitting to the things that make you feel good, which really are kind of one and the same, I would argue. Your ruling planet Mercury is also quite busy this month as well. And I just want to say, if you're a Gemini or even a Virgo, you have either one of those placements, this month could feel really, really long. March will see Mercury in 3 different signs. Mercury is going to be in Aquarius, it's going to be in Aries, or sorry, it's going to be in Aquarius, Pisces, and then Aries. So there's a lot that is going to be happening here that's really like several months in one. I kind of want to tell you that. That might be something that you're kind of feeling throughout March. And just even comparing it to February, it's like March is a much longer month. So there's something kind of there as well. I do feel like with Mercury entering Pisces on the 9th, however, some of you are really feeling quite foggy or spiritually disconnected with the High Priestess in reverse. And no shade, it happens to everyone. We all kind of have these different energies or circumstances in our life that can make things feel less clear or less lucid. It almost feels like you're kind of realizing you've been on autopilot for a really long time. There is also quite a bit of focus on career, specifically with Mercury conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. That's going to be happening the same day as the new moon on the 2nd. There really is a lot of focus about you getting serious about what you want to do and where you want to go in life. There's also this potential for like a promotion or like a new job with this new moon, or manifesting that. There really is a lot of focus on you learning or gaining wisdom, gaining experiences, gaining a knowledge base that can help support your long-term goals or your career that is also something that is very prominent for you this month, especially as Mercury is in Aquarius for the first 10 days. So there is a lot of focus on like travel and philosophy as well there. And I think it's almost like there's so much information around you right now. It feels like it's very hard to focus or to get back in touch with what matters the most. And that's interesting because I feel like, again, the group I'm connecting with, not just because this is a tarot reading, I feel like specifically with the Geminis I'm connecting with in this reading, a lot of you are very intuitive. Maybe you are intuitives professionally, or maybe you are interested in doing that, or maybe you're just very psychic in some way. But it feels like this month is just like off, which is kind of weird for that, or weird for Pisces season, right? The thing is, with Mercury in Pisces, Mercury is actually in its fall in the sign of Pisces, which is kind of interesting. And Mercury is your ruling planet, for those of you who aren't aware. So whatever Mercury is doing in the month in astrology is going to really affect you quite personally. So whenever there's a Mercury retrograde, it can really screw you up. And I understand that because I'm a Virgo. I'm also ruled by Mercury. I definitely feel whatever Mercury is doing. And March is very much about you reconnecting to your intuition, and it might actually require you to really put in some work for that to happen. I feel like some of you may actually quite literally be traveling this month, or going on some sort of journey or pilgrimage, or just moving in some way, traveling in some way. And it feels like it's helping you gain perspective with the Eight of Cups here. Some of you, yeah, that word perspective is really ringing a bell for me. It really feels like something that's important to you. And with the full moon that's happening on the 18th, we already talked about the new moon. The full moon in Virgo is actually occurring in your fourth house of home and family. So there could be some cycles that are ending there. Some of you really could be moving this month potentially. Or there's just some sort of cycle or pattern from your family that you are breaking free from. I could potentially see that too. And I feel like some of you are even doing inner child work. That's how you're getting in touch with the thing that you now feel disconnected from. Funny enough, as I say that, I look down at the clock and it's 11:11. So there is this thing with manifestation. There are doors opening. There is a lot of spiritual guidance and assistance coming for you at this time. And I feel like there is something about manifestations where maybe you have been manifesting something and it hasn't come to fruition yet. And you're kind of looking at your life. You're examining what it is that is not in alignment with the things that you're trying to manifest or create, right? Some of you may feel like, well, maybe I'm just manifesting something that's not meant for me. Maybe there is something I am dreaming of that's not meant for me. But I actually want you to really kind of reassess things in your life this month, not necessarily the things that you want or you're trying to create. I actually want you to look and see parts of you that might be in resistance or not in alignment with the things that you want. Maybe you want a relationship, maybe you want a different job, maybe you want a different home. What in your life is not an energetic match, or rather what in yourself is not an energetic match for that thing? Very often when we're working with manifestation, we have to work with the feeling. And if we're working with a feeling of, oh my God, I hate my job, I have to get out of here, that's going to be a really hard way or hard route towards a job that actually feels good. How can you start feeling that in your body, really starting to imagine that in your body, and almost remembering what that feels like for you? That feels like a very important phrase. Because with this Eight of Cups, you do actually have the Ace of Cups coming in your future. This feels like you reconnecting to your intuition, you finding this missing piece. And it's funny that we had the Nine of Cups in the past, and then you have the Eight of Cups. It's like something is missing or something is misplaced. It's not lost, however. You are reconnecting with something, and it's something you've had all along, but you may need to travel. You may need to go on some sort of journey or do some sort of reflection or meditation to rediscover this missing part of you. And with the Ten of Wands in reverse, there's actually quite a bit of relief for this month as well. You're letting go of some sort of burden or things that you've been carrying for some time. I'm actually getting this nice release here. I'm getting kind of a sigh of relief, which feels really, really good to me. And as your ruling planet Mercury is going through Pisces and then into Aries, which happens at the end of this month, I believe it's on the 27th, there is this liftoff for you to really connect with people and to kind of break out into the world again. I feel like there's a lot of you who have felt quite isolated, or you might feel a little bit isolated or distant this month with the Eight of Cups here, but there is this reconnection that is happening. I'm actually noticing at the bottom of the deck here, we have the Six of Pentacles, so there could be people who are helping you, or you're helping other people. There's just this sense of connection here, this connection to other people that feels very, very important. And there is kind of this focus on humanitarianism. Now, it's actually interesting as I'm saying this, I'm remembering the animal cards I pulled for you, and the first one I actually pulled was human. And it says, remember forgetting. And this is really kind of speaking to the human tendency to disconnect from the world around us. And it's interesting how the human card is in this animal oracle deck here, because very often humans forget that they are animals. We forget that we are part of the natural cycles, that we are part of the earth, that we are extensions of nature. And the human card really is connecting to our nature again, connecting to the earth again, connecting to our purpose. Really just feeling that sense of connection overall. That's going to be a huge thing with all of this Aquarius energy we're going to be experiencing still in the month of March, even though we are into Pisces and Aries season. There is still quite a few energies playing out in Aquarius, plus Saturn is in Aquarius. So there really is this focus still on finding people, finding supportive and healthy relationships in particular is going to be really, really important. And I think with this human card as well, you're remembering yourself. You're remembering the things you have forgotten. Remember forgetting is written on this card. And it's almost like kind of this Wizard of Oz sort of moment. It's like you've gone on this journey, and then there's this point this month where it's like you realize you had the thing you were looking for all along, right? Your way back home was right beneath your nose the whole time, or whatever it is that you thought you needed someone else for, you're kind of finding in yourself. Although some of you are receiving support from other people this month with the Six of Pentacles, or maybe you're feeling called to connect with your fellow man or fellow humanity. I think there really is like this thing that you are discovering inside yourself, and it's now propelling you to help other people or connect with this humanitarian part of yourself again. You might be going back out into the world or reaching out to people in some way, and maybe that is connected to your career or your purpose, especially with this Piscean season that we are in. This is very hugely focused on your career and your public image, your role in the world. So there really is this focus on you connecting. And I think the 21st and the 23rd are going to be really powerful days for you to reconnect with your intuition, especially if things feel kind of foggy at the start of this month or whenever you're watching this video. That's because we have Mercury forming a conjunction with Jupiter and Neptune, respectively, in Pisces. And this is really going to illuminate your mind, open your mind up to your intuition. You might be dreaming very vividly this month as well. And there's going to be kind of this crescendo with Jupiter and Neptune in April. So that's something to kind of track as well. That's going to be happening on April 12th. And for those of you who are artists or creatives or intuitives, or just do something that's kind of off the beaten path in life, this is going to be a really powerful year for you specifically. But right now, it's like you're rediscovering or finding the thing that you lost, right? This missing piece. You're bringing that back into your life. And I think some of you actually need to give yourself some space or some time away from people, ironically, especially in the start of March. And then you can reach out and connect with others again. The other card I have here is the Orca spirit, which is dive beneath the surface, which very much does feel like this Eight of Cups energy, which is kind of going on the journey. Eight of Cups often is talked about as walking away. I really think of it as like climbing the mountain. The Eight of Cups actually does remind me of the journey to become the hermit in the major arcana. It's like this is kind of the moment leading up to this traveler meeting the hermit in the mountains who gives this person this kind of wisdom or reflection, or offers the lantern that shines or shows a way to this person. You're very much on a journey this month. And I think especially as Aquarius, or Mercury is still in Aquarius for the first 10 days of March, or until March 9th, I should say, there really is this focus on philosophy, on learning, and some of you may be traveling or again moving. But I really feel like whatever it is that's shifting, it's helping you shift perspective. You're seeing things in a different way. And I think there are going to be some lessons here as well, because Mercury is going to be conjunct with Saturn on the 9th, or I'm sorry, on the 2nd, on the same day as the new moon. And there really is like this needing to get serious, needing to commit to something again, needing to recommit to yourself or recommit to a vision. But it's like whatever it is that you have felt disconnected from, I feel like you're reconnecting spiritually. I'm also getting this message that some of you are reconnecting with spirit guides or angels. That is kind of something that I'm getting right now. Specifically getting the number 3. I don't know if there's 3 spirit guides, or maybe there's 3 people that are crossed over in spirit and you connect with them a lot. I'm just getting the number 3, and it feels very associated with guides, or there's 3 spirits around you in particular who are very close to your energy throughout the month of March. So you do have this spiritual assistance with you as well, even if it feels like you're a little bit lonely or disconnected. Really, really connect to these energies. I feel like there are beings who are trying to communicate with you from a higher dimension. I know that sounds very wooey, but they are trying to help you, and I think they're going to be showing you what you can finally free yourself from, what you can let go of. It really is like you've been working so hard, you've lost touch with what it is that you were working for, or the enjoyment that you once got out of life. And that's just been something that's been so challenging over the past couple of years. There's been so... It's been so hard to look forward to something. There's been so many blockages in that way, where I feel like you're now coming back into touch with things that feel good. But it is going to require some work. It is going to require some serious examination. And I'm thinking of another date as well. There's going to be a sextile between Mercury in Pisces and Pluto in Capricorn. And I believe that's at the end of March. I want to say March 25th or March 26th. That's going to be kind of a time to face your fears, actually. Anything that is holding you back from living out your purpose. And, you know, kind of makes me think of that expression, our greatest rewards lie in the places we fear. And there really is this thing about you finding power in the things that frighten or scare you, going there, doing the thing, doing that bold thing, or that taking that bold step is going to be really, really powerful for you. And looking at this Orca card, it's like there are these other beings, there are other people with you, supporting you. And interestingly, there are 3 who are kind of around this Orca, or 3 who are underneath the surface. So again, kind of makes me think that there are 3 spirits who are working very closely with you this month. It feels like March is kind of a significant time. Maybe there are some mediumship experiences you are having, communicating with the dead or communicating with non-physical beings. That could be something that's really prevalent this month. And I also feel like with this Orca card, it's like beneath the surface, you're going to find your pod. You're going to find the people you belong with. You're going to find the sense of connection. And I almost get the sense, too, it's like you're seeking this connection from other people, but there's also like needing to connect with spirit as well. and needing to connect with yourself. Because it's almost like you forgot what you offer humanity. You're remembering your mission, remembering your purpose, remembering your gifts, remembering what makes you unique and special. And when I look at the orca specifically, it's this black and white energy. It's finding balance, light and dark. So some of you are going to be doing some shadow work this month as well, I think. But I think there is kind of a light at the end of the tunnel, especially with this Ace of Cups. And it feels like you are so much freer as a result of whatever it is that you are working towards this month. With this 8 of Wands in reverse, you're letting go of a burden. You're letting go of something that you've been carrying for too long. And it's almost like you knew it was there, but you almost got so used to feeling this heavy or exhausted or tired or in pain that it just kind of became something that was normal. And once you are free from it, it's almost like I get the feeling like some of you are going to cry because you didn't realize just how heavy things were. Like you knew, but you also didn't fully recognize it. You didn't fully acknowledge it. And that's kind of what this Orca card is too. It's like you know what's beneath the surface, but it's not something that you're going to fully understand until the end of this month or even in April or beyond. But ultimately it feels really, really good. And I just want to say too, if it feels like there's some sort of setback at the end of the month, at the end of March, intuitively, I want to tell you, it's almost like a bit of context. It's like kind of this thing from the universe that's reminding you, remember when you used to feel this way all the time? Sort of thing. So if you have like this kind of weird setback at the end of March, I'm not saying that's for all of you, it's only for some of you, but if you feel like you have a setback or some sort of obstacle or just some sort of heaviness, it's almost like the universe is reminding you of how you used to feel and how far you've come. You haven't even seen how far you've come until you're kind of reaching this sort of pinnacle and you're looking down and you're like, wow, I climbed this mountain all by myself. You're seeing what you have done, how far you have gone. And it feels very, very beautiful for me. But there is kind of this thing where I feel like some of you are shedding tears or crying or healing. But it feels important. It doesn't feel heavy. It's release. It's very much release for those of you who are shedding tears. And maybe you're shedding tears just watching this or feeling this energy. But I actually feel really good for you, Gemini. The start of this year has just been really hard for you. Again, Mercury started off retrograde right at the beginning of this year, and then Mercury is going to be entering into Pisces this month, so it's like things are very watery, it's kind of like foggy. The energy has just been very choppy for us Mercury-ruled signs, but I do feel like you are coming into clarity again, and it's almost like this big aha moment, this big sigh of relief at the end of March coming into April. I'm feeling pretty good about spring for you in general, especially as we're getting towards your birthday. So I hope that's something to look forward to. Anyways, Gemini, those are all the messages I am getting for you this month. I do hope that this was helpful. Again, all of my links are in the description box down below. If you want to book a session with me or join me on Patreon, you can find those links in the description box, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Gemini. Have a happy March.